Let's talk about incantations. Fantastic incantations and where to find them. I'm sticking to mostly early and mid-game incantations to help you on your journey, but I have faith that you will find this video useful. Let me know in the comments down below your favorite incantations. I also guarantee that I haven't found them all yet, so let me know what others you have found and that you like to use so we can all help each other out in the comments. First, we'll start off with the Flame of Frenzy, and this is a pretty cheap FP cost for a incantation that you can get very early on. It's a chargeable AoE fire damage that like spits fire out of your eyes. It also inflicts madness and has a pretty fast cast time, so you can hit a lot of enemies in front of you. It's also not bad for bosses either. You get this from the Baptismal Church in the Weeping Peninsula. It's found on a corpse up here and with the rats, so just be careful of the rats, but you can pick this up and start spitting fire out of your eyes pretty early on. Flame Sling is good, but it could be better, and that is Black Flame. It is basically Flame Sling, except it has a damage over time effect that it applies to the target when you do hit them. This tick, or damage over time, will deal damage to the target just from hitting it. It will deal for, I think, like 2 seconds afterward. It'll keep dealing damage. You will need to find the Godskin prayer book in order to unlock this incantation, and once you find that prayer book, it is located in Stormvale Castle near the lift side chamber side of Grace. You can bring that to Brother Cohen or the Muriel Turtle later in the game, and you'll be able to buy the spell from them. Next is the aspect of the Crucible Tail. This creates like a tail effect that you'll sweep in front of you. It's got a high FP cost, but it's a good melee faith to use, and there isn't a whole lot of melee faiths other than like Catch Flame and the variations on that early in the game. And because you can get this pretty quickly, I decided to include it here. And you do have to beat the Crucible Knight that will use this on you. It's the boss on the Storm Hill Evergoal, so just be careful there. He is a little bit hard to kill, but you can beat him. You'll be able to get this melee faith incantation that you'll be able to use pretty early on. There are other aspects of the Crucible, like the Breathe and the Horns, and you can find these throughout the world, but the Tail is one of the earliest ones that you can get. Next, we'll talk about my favorite incantation, Lightning Spear. This has a very cheap cost, and it hurls a lightning spear at the target. It's also chargeable, so you can charge this bad boy up and lunge it at the target. This is obtained by the Dragon Cult prayer book, which is dropped by the knight that is patrolling south of the Artist Shack in the Lernier of the Lakes region. You just need to beat him. He will use this on you, so be careful. Once you've beaten him, you'll be able to buy this lightning spear off either Muriel or Brother Cohen, whoever you give the prayer book to. Next is Lightning Strike, which is similar to Lightning Spear, except this puts like an AoE cone in front of you and will deal lightning damage to anything that it hits. This is really valuable for when you get a group of enemies in front of you and you need to deal damage to them all. You can get this super early on as well in the Weeping Peninsula. It's dropped by a Teardrop Scarab down there. You can pick this bad boy up and start dealing lightning damage to enemies if you've got enough to wield it. This next section I'm just going to call Beast Incantations because they're all pretty solid, but we're going to talk about 3 of them specifically. The first is the Bestial Sling, and this slings like various rocks at the target. It is super cheap, it deals tons of damage, and it is an AoE that you can hit multiple enemies with. We're also going to use the Bestial Vitality, which is a heal over time effect that you can just like dab yourself on the chest and just heal over time. You can pop this when you're in bosses, it'll definitely help you out. And next is Beast Claw, which is again is super cheap, and it's a clawing effect on the ground that'll like rip through targets in front of you. All of these are cheap and efficient and very good to add to any incantation arsenal that you may have. All of these can be obtained from Garuk, the Beast Clergyman, which is found in the Bestial Sanctum. You can find him by going to slightly north of the 3rd Church of Marakai and then going through the Sending Gate there, and he will be there. And you need to give him death roots, and every time you give him a death root, he'll give you something new. The Bestial Sling is obtained by giving him 2, the Bestial Vitality is obtained by giving him 3, and Beast Claw is obtained by giving him 5. You will find these throughout your playthrough, and after you've given him the first death root, he will give you an item called the Beast Eye, which will quiver anytime you get close to a death root, so you'll know where to find them, but you can just look up the specific locations if you want. But some of them are a little spoilery, so we'll keep them out of this video. Next is the Dragon Incantations, and all the Dragon Incantations are really strong. Like, I think all of them are good, but they have a very high FP cost, so you need to be careful of that and pump up your mind if you want to use these. What you may not know though is that there are actually 2 locations where you can buy the Dragon Incantations. There's a Church of the Dragon Communion, which is in the southeast of Limgrave. You need to travel through the coastal cave in order to get here, and then after that there is the Cathedral of the Dragon Communion, which is in South Caelid, which can be accessed at the start of the game as well. In order to get any of the Dragon Incantations, you need to kill a dragon to get their heart and then take it to these locations and trade it in, but pretty much all of them are really strong. They just have such a high cost, and they do have a slow wind up time, so they take a little bit to get off, but they are a lot of fun. So if you do want to play around with them, then absolutely go to either of these locations and check out the dragon incantations. Check out my Ash of War video that goes through the best Ashes of War as well. Let me know in the comments down below what incantations I've missed. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.